It's forever. Oh. Bitch.
Welcome to the Unimaginary Friendcast. We are your amazing hosts.
I am Nathan Von Edmondson.
That's what they say. I'm Erin Marie Betty Davis Jr. Von Edmondson. My name keeps growing.
And I'm davidmonster.com.
And we're trying not to be a little rusty at this, but it has been 7 months since we were last together. David's not even in the frame anymore.
He's been replaced by New Kids on the Block poster.
We have been on a bit of a hiatus, and it's been 2024 has just been bonkers.
Bonkeriners.
Event after event. And we just felt like we needed to come out of our semi-retirement and just figure out what's going on in this world, which is what we've always done best. The success of our podcast has been solving the world's problems. And I think they need us now.
Have you noticed that they're always turning to us to solve everything? Have you guys noticed that?
I got so many emails and tweets and threads and reels.
I had to turn my notifications off.
Begging
too much
for us to figure out, especially all of this political stuff that's going on.
I just kept getting calls. Should I run? Should I run? Joe, drop out. What? Should I run? Joe, drop out! Just constantly over and over. That was my day every day for the last Yeah.
So we're here. We kind of took a break because if you had watched or listened to our last few podcasts, you'd noticed that one of us would have to leave for an extended period of time because we have young children that have not been very good sleepers. That is still our reality, and at any time, one of us could be called away and have to leave the podcast. We're hoping that this is a safe hour for us to be together, but just that's a fair disclaimer for all of you.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, Oh, David just left.
Hi, David.
Nathan, how are you? What's been going on these last 7 months?
I'm good. Are we doing news? Is this a pseudo news section?
I think so.
Are we starting the news?
Let's do news.
Okay, I'll start with news. David's out, I guess.
Oh, we can just do the podcast.
Okay. We'll do news. So,
did I leave?
You did. Welcome back, David. We just did our news segments. We're done. We just finished the podcast.
Oh my God. Well, we have I forgot what they're called even anymore. If you look at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, we have our fans are writing in.
A viewer comment. Oh God! Wow, that was rough.
Oh my gosh, you forgot how to speak English in the last 7 months.
I caught dementia from the Bidens.
very possible.
Yeah, I hear it's very contagious.
Our private chat is live too. I'm not going to repeat what I'm seeing in the private chat right now, but
I was trying to get David's attention when we first logged on.
it's below the belt.
Oh.
Anyway,
I haven't even seen it. Well, we have our viewer says Anne calls that momversations. That's from Joe Janotro. I was out of the thing, so I don't even know what you're talking about. So you guys are gonna have to handle this one.
We were going to start giving some news. I know it's hard to narrow down just one thing, but
our momversations talks with kids when they're staying up. Is that what he's referencing? A momversation, like mom has to go up and talk to the kid and put it back to sleep.
I don't know,
Joe. Maybe you could add some more clarity to your comment there. All right. So news. We're doing news.
Yeah, I know David has some news. You want to go first?
How do you know? Well, I have two things. You guys can vote.
Hold on. The reason I know that is because David accidentally sent us all of his notes, his personal notes.
Oh, that's right. And you weren't supposed to read them. I told you not to read them. I said, leave it to Aaron. Of course. Did you guys?
We read them and we edited them and sent them back to you. So be careful make sure you're reading the right ones.
Uh-oh.
Boom, boom, boom.
Uh-oh.
But I know you have news because I took a sneak peek.
Yeah, what's your news, David?
Well,
okay, we got a viewer comment. No, it's when you try to have a chat, but every 2 minutes you have to stop because of the kid. That makes more sense than my assumption.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true. In this whole world, there's nothing worse than parents. You have to admit.
Basically, a child will do this. Mom, if you're having a conversation, mom.
Yeah, but you keep going.
Constantly.
Yeah.
I give up.
Stop too early.
See, it was so annoying. It made my sense of politeness go awry. I had to stop.
I understand.
Kids don't have that.
I understand that. I'm sorry. Do you guys want to go first? Or you want me to go first with the
Why
news?
you go first?
All right, so you can vote. Either topic number one is I won the pronoun game. I figured out my pronouns.
I want that
and
one.
They're better than anyone's. Okay, the they, them, I'll call you whatever you want. They, them doesn't make any sense to me. Like I'll still call you that, but it's not it's not good. It's not glamorous. It's not chic. I love when people call themselves they, them because I like to confuse it with a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing that. But with me, my pronouns are one and ones. And I want to show you how this works.
Okay.
Aaron, you're going to relay to Nathan what I tell you, okay? So pretend I'm at your house. I want cookies.
Okay.
So you tell him what I told you, but using my pronoun.
One wants cookies. One wants cookies.
Okay.
Wait, where did my microphone go?
One's microphone.
Where's one's microphone?
Or we're out at a restaurant. I'm going to go to the restroom. Can you please order me a margarita and a mucho grande taco? Go.
One would like a margarita and a mucho grande taco.
See, doesn't that win aren't I the best pronoun person you've ever met?
You know, honestly, David, that is easier than they and them. I will say
100%. But it sounds good too. It's like, oh, one would. Is that royalty? Are you?
Yeah, it does sound like royalty. Did they not? Did ones not try this?
No, they did not.
Them's not try the one. One?
No, they did not. And you don't know whether I'm talking about one person or a bunch of people. You have no clue.
Well, I think you did win. Good job.
Yeah, I wonder if we can enforce that.
Yeah.
No, I'm enforcing it. Those are my pronouns. And if you don't get my pronouns right, I'm going to freak the fuck out and I'm going to call the ACLU and get you fucking arrested.
Or can we enforce that to the broader non-binary? I don't know. Am I saying that correctly?
I don't know. You should probably stop.
Okay.
You straight horrible woman.
Wait.
You're a binary person. You two freaks are binaries.
You're so binary.
You're so binary.
Yeah, I don't know. That's cool. I like it, David. I say run with it.
It really does
Thank
help
you.
because the gripe I've always had has not been you don't want to be she, her, he, him. It's that they. Sometimes it's singular, but sometimes it's not singular, and then it's really confusing. I have a writer that's doing some writing for me for this event that I'm running, and he wanted to do have a non-binary voice, and the whole story just sounds like it's a group of people doing things, and it's hard. But if it was one and ones, that would solve that problem.
Yeah, there are cases where they and them is used in the singular traditionally that works and makes sense. But when you read, if you were to read a whole paragraph after paragraph of stuff, that's you. Yeah,
you'd have no idea. You would have no idea. And
it doesn't really work especially when you are writing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good job. Do you want to go news or shall I go news?
I'll go news.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing of all the last 7 months, a lot of stuff has happened, but I just entered the last final year of my 30s.
Ooh.
Ew, gross.
So I don't really know what that means, but I'm approaching a big milestone birth day.
Can you feel yourself rotting from the inside as we speak? A little bit, right?
It's a little.
Well, you
it's been a little stinkier around here.
My armpits do smell really bad.
Do you feel older? Like, is there a sense of like age hitting you?
No, but I mean, I don't feel like I'm in very good shape right now. So I feel like things are a little harder on my body because I'm just I haven't taken care of myself because I've given birth to 2 children. So my goal before I turn 40 is to feel better and feel more stronger and more energetic. So hopefully I can achieve that goal in the next 10 months, 11 months.
Yeah, the clock is
ticking.
ticking.
I just turned 39, 11 and a half months.
11 and a half months.
Yeah, I've got time. And I also want to do something cool next summer to commemorate Big 4-0.
What do you want to do?
I'm figuring that out. I don't know.
We actually need to talk about that.
We do.
We have
We
some
need to talk about
pending conversations on that.
Cool.
Anyway.
Yeah, with age, it's weird because I feel like in your teens, but especially in your 20s, there's like many years in a row where you don't feel different at all. Like the number changes, but there's no change. And then as you approach the decade changes, you do start to become more self-aware of the fact that you're getting older and taking stock of certain things. And then as you reach your 30s, things do start to change physically.
And the 40s just mark the end of the end. Like, and I'm not even kidding. Like, just things just start dropping off. Do you wear, I don't even know, do you wear contact lenses or glasses?
No.
Oh, at some point in your 40s, you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm blind. Like, I had perfect 20/20 vision. And then all of a sudden it was just like, the fuck? Like,
David, do you just need readers? Do you only need readers? Can you see at a distance?
Yeah, I only need readers. Yes.
Okay. So I've been blind from here out since I was in 2nd grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in the last couple years, maybe less than that, suddenly I need readers. And it's like, why am I blind like in this 12-inch area now?
Yeah.
So great.
It's the end of the end. Like, things just start dropping off. And there's no new normal. Let me tell you something. Like, all of a sudden, like, your bowel movements change, your metabolism changes, your blood pressure changes. Like, every part of your body changes and becomes a new normal every, like, 5 years or so.
I'm going to push back on that. I heard the metabolism thing is a lie. And that actually it's more of a lifestyle change thing. As we grow older, we just move less, and that's the issue.
No.
That's even the research, David.
No, even if you're in super shape, like everyone I've talked, because I've been in the gym culture for a long time, and everybody I talk to, they're like, God, I have to like reevaluate my fitness all the time because it just keeps changing. Your body just keeps going. Because like, think of it like a car. Like, a car rests every once in a while. Your heart never rests. Your lungs never rest. Like, there's certain parts of your body that never rest. So they're just going like, we're gonna drop off here. We're gonna make some changes. And you and Aaron especially is like me, like stressed all the time for no reason.
No reason.
There's plenty of reasons.
There's a lot of reasons, David.
There's a lot of reasons, but you don't need a reason to be stressed too. Admit it.
I kind of need a reason to be stressed.
She's always looking for a reason to be stressed.
Well, yeah, you have a lot of reasons. So you're on.
There's
So
always a reason. So
how are you going to alleviate stress? Let me put it that way. How are you going to do it?
what kind of question is this?
Like what I'm saying is like the life you have kids, and you have a job, and you have this, and you have that. Like, how are you going to alleviate stress? How are you going to eliminate stress from your life? How are you going to do that?
Get older and not need me as much. Will that make things less stressful?
In 10 years.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna just shrivel up and become a shell of who I once was by next summer.
Isn't 30 the new 20?
Yes, it's like it was back then, but still, I'm just telling you, your body's just be aware of it, and you can make concessions. Because the thing is when people don't tell you and things change, you're like, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? It's like, no, your body's just going like, oh, we're gonna change this, we're gonna change that.
I've had 2 children. Things
have
changed.
Yeah, 100%.
Has sailed, and it's not coming back for me.
100%, but that's still not your. That's still not your new normal. You still have a few new normals to go.
Well, then I'm going to get to a new normal that's better than this new normal, and then it can degrade from there.
So it's going to go up, you're going to plateau, and then it'll be a slow slide down. Instead of like right now, if you don't go up and then plateau, you're just going to like nose dive.
I can't get worse than this, so I have to get better, so then I can have room to get worse.
It's a slow decline, but all of a sudden,
okay,
it's like turbulence. What was that? I'm telling you, just be aware of it, and it won't freak you out as much. That's all I'm saying.
This is coming from someone who looks amazing at 85.
And this is not that interesting to our viewers, so let's move on.
I'm sorry. Okay, what's your news?
Oh, don't worry. I have something that's going to be so interesting to our viewers. Don't worry. So I don't know how it started. I watched a YouTube video and suddenly became obsessed with this watch.
Oh my God.
This watch here, I'm going to take it off. So I haven't worn a watch for a while. You know, we all got cell phones, and it has a clock. It has pretty much everything you need, right? I don't know why I started thinking I wanted to have a watch again. The one that I had, the band had broken, so the leather band had like snapped, so it just wasn't working. The face, it was just a cheap Timex that I got, worked, no problem, except the band wasn't working. So I was like, I don't know. So somehow I started watching YouTube videos, and I started watching reviews on Casio digital pieces, and people are really obsessed with them. From thank you, you can show this off. So this is the AE 1200 WH, I believe. And its nickname is the Casio Royale, which is kind of like, it's a spy watch. It's a ripoff. It's kind of, the design is a little bit of a ripoff of this Seiko watch that Roger Moore wore in one of the James Bond films he was in. It was a very similar style to this face, you know? So Casio did a little version of this. Now, what's amazing about this watch? First, let me tell you the benefits of wearing a watch is I know what the date is. I feel like the last 10 years, I just never know what the date is. Is it the 20th? Is it the 21st? Is it the 23rd? I can just look, and there it is. What month is it? I can just look. There's the month. What day is it? Oh, it's Sunday. Nope, I can check. It's right here. I feel like these things I just forget like throughout the day. I don't know if I'm the only person. Do you guys experience that? Where you just forget what day it is?
I have no idea what day it is.
See, exactly. You just need a little digital watch is going to tell you. So this thing, well, one, I can check the time without grabbing my cell phone, which is great. And it has timers. This thing has, a countdown timer that I can use. So when I'm like taking a break from work, I can set 15 minutes and I can just hit the timer. I don't have to carry my watch or my cell phone around and put a timer on and check it to see how much time is left. This thing just does a little countdown for me. This watch is cool. It also has something like 30 plus, 25 plus time zones. So you can skip through. If you look at it closely, if you're watching the video, you can see there's actually the Earth. There's a map of the Earth right there, and highlighted is the time zone we're in right now. So you can skip through to different.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. So this has just brought me so much joy. I can't even. How much did it cost? So I just looked on Amazon, and right now it's 10% off. You can get it for $23.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like 20. like $230.
No, this thing is just, it's not
That's
even
not
metal.
bad.
It's like a resin case, so it's like
Yeah.
plastic basically. So it's really light and you forget that it's on your wrist most of the time. And it just looks really fun and cool. I don't know. I really like it. It just has brought me so much joy, and it's like reduced my cell phone usage by that much, which is like considerable though. It's like adds up throughout time, So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really dig it. I get joy from it, and yeah, now I'm going to be a watch collector. I'm going to collect like $25 Casio watches or something. So,
But can I ask you a question?
yeah, please.
What's a watch?
It's a good question. It's a timepiece that you wear on your wrist or
Ew,
connected to a chain in
gross.
your vest pocket.
That is so gross.
You guys want to do the gold star?
Yeah, what's our gold star?
Don't need to make those noises. What are we doing?
Yeah, because I'm so scared.
Well, how about I'll just go into it. David had nominated George Clooney as our gold star for this year. Well, this might be the
only gold star of the year
for this podcast.
They're rare and of higher value.
They are. That's very true.
That's true.
Why, David? Can you explain why George Clooney won this year's gold star?
Because George Clooney had the guts to say what all the fucking Democrats were too pussy to say. And it's good. It's a good thing that he said it. Because this is what cracks me up is George Clooney said, this isn't the guy. This isn't Joe. Joe is having problems. He can't run the country. I had one-on-one time with him. And the thing that cracks me up is millions of Democrats everywhere are going like, oh, how dare this elite actor tell us what to do. Fucking bitch. He sat in a room with Joe. And you don't know Joe. He know Joe. You don't know Joe. You're so stupid. And I'm glad that George Clooney had the guts to say it, because that is a good thing. We need to have the guts to fucking say shit.
Well, the thing about George Clooney is he is a huge donator.
Yeah, he donated millions of dollars for the guy.
So he's a huge donor to the Democratic Party. So
yeah,
he's putting up money, right? And he's connected to all those elite people who spend millions of dollars on this stuff. So really one of the big things that helped push Biden or allowed Biden to see clearly that it was time to step down is that the funding was drying up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's certainly not. Okay, that's our gold star. I want to push us into the episode because there's a lot here. And I want to start us off. I'm going to shotgun fire, read through a list of things that have happened since we last met. And these are not all of the things that have happened. These are major occurrences, and I haven't even covered all of them.
Is this in some order?
No, this is in zero order.
It is like a shotgun.
It's a shock. It's just like a machine gun fire of things that have happened. Any one of these things we can discuss or beyond. But
okay, cool. And I'll add one to the end. Ready, go.
Because we have met. The last time we met was in
January.
New Year's. So okay. The Paris Olympics started. Biden dropped out of the race. Kamala Harris is endorsed unofficially. Trump got shot, almost assassinated. The Gaza war continues. Protests all over the place. Earth had its hottest day ever. Hurricane started the earliest ever. A bunch of university presidents resigned. All kinds of airplane troubles, doors flying off, almost hitting each other. Tons of shootings. I can't even get into all the shootings that have happened. Alec Baldwin got out of trouble. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Multiple big tech outages that have affected the entire country and world. Mitch McConnell is stepping down.
He is? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Well, he's not going to run for re-election. Russia and North Korea have become closer buddies. The Supreme Court gave Trump lots of immunity. The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed into the middle of the river. There was an earthquake in New Jersey. There was a total solar eclipse across America. Parents of a school shooter were convicted for the first time ever. Biden tried to do a border bill and got shot down. Florida banned fake-grown meat. We've talked about that on our podcast before. Republicans held their convention. J.D. Vance is Trump's vice president. Those are just the things. I know 7 months is a long time, but man, where do we even start?
I didn't know that university presidents resigned. Is that recent?
Oh no, that was from all the Palestine.
Oh, there were a
Israel
couple
stuff.
that resigned.
Yeah,
Yeah, not all of them.
Not every single.
Well, there were
every
like
university president.
What were the like 3 or 4 that testified in front of Congress, and
Yeah.
them stepped down maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal at the time.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does everyone feel kind of depressed by that?
No, because I want to talk about one that was not depressing. That was really cool.
The Chiefs winning the Super Bowl?
No. Nathan and I traveled to Meadville, Pennsylvania to see the total solar eclipse.
That should have been my news.
Oh, really?
We went I knew that we'd talk about it on this list. But we went, Nathan insisted that we go into the path of totality. And it was very, very cool experience.
I insisted. I learned about you learn about stuff at some point in your life. When I was in astronomy 101 or some elective or something, I think it was my freshman year of college, I learned about the total solar eclipse and totality. And the instructor that I had been in 2, one in perfect weather and one when it was cloud cover. And he said both were just amazing. And he described what it was like. So at that point, 20 some years ago, I decided that it was something I had to experience in my life, and it was totally worth it. It was amazing.
We also got very lucky, and I know that you said it would have been fine if it was cloud cover, but we happened to have a sunny day.
Yeah, totally clear sky.
You can see it. You see how the outline. Yeah, it was very cool. I had very low to no expectations. I was just like happy to do something new, and I thought it was really awesome.
And we were really lucky. The path of totality did cross, probably 40 miles from where I grew up, and went through my niece's backyard, basically. So we were able to just go visit family and watch it from her backyard, which was really fun. We threw a party.
It was an eclipse party that was all themed.
Yeah.
The food.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So, wait. So how long did you experience like nighttime darkness?
3 minutes.
It doesn't turn like as dark as night, but it gets like you see it. It changes. It does get darker, and like the cicadas start chirping. Like the wildlife changes, so that they react to how dark it does.
It was like dusk.
Yeah, it was. Like dusk. In a matter of like less than a minute, it turns to dusk.
And it was like 3 minutes for us.
Yeah, something like 3 minutes.
Oh wow.
If you want to see photos, I did take some photos on Erin Marie Photography LA, either my Facebook or Instagram page. You can see some of the photos I took from that. It came out pretty cool.
Okay.
It's pretty spectacular. Go ahead, David.
Well, on a completely different subject, come see my band. We're touring this summer. It's called Path of Totality. Thank you.
Perfect.
I feel like moving on, I'm just going to pivot away from that with no explanation. I feel like probably the biggest thing going on right now. I'm going to read this audience comment. Agree, solar eclipse is awe-inspiring. I saw totality in Indiana. Nice.
Yes, beautiful. It's so special. I think there's another one in a few years in the U.S., but the next, totality happens every year around the world. It just depends where it is. It could be anywhere. A lot of times it's across the ocean. It's in other countries. But I think it's like 20 years before there's a really huge totality in the U.S. again, and it's like through Montana or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but definitely want to do it again. That's for sure.
I thought Dr. Joe was in Alabama, and I have never been in a solar eclipse. So yeah, nothing happened here. Nothing, not one thing.
You guys had like 50% coverage.
No,
you did.
We didn't notice it.
That's like, it's probably darker in the morning with the marine layer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't notice a thing. So I'm sorry.
Like one thing I definitely want to cover, because this is the reason that we're all here tonight, was because when this happened, I turned to Nathan and I said, "What is David thinking about this?"
And what was that?
It was the Trump near assassination.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
So I still don't know the answer to that, David. What are your thoughts on that crazy event?
So many. First of all, no part of it looks real. If it is real, I apologize.
Really?
I apologize to everyone involved. It just looks so set up and phony. One of the biggest things, it really brings to light just how shitty Christians are. Because I don't know if you saw, but on my timeline, I saw a lot of people going like, oh my God, God stepped in and he saved Trump. And it's like, really? Like, so God couldn't stop the shooter. God couldn't stop that man from dying. God couldn't feed, the hungry people. God couldn't, those kids just got killed in Nigeria. He couldn't save that. But he averted the bullet just a little bit. And that's all God could do. Thank you, God. And I'm so glad. It's just so stupid. And when it happened, and because Joe was still in the race, I was like, "Oh, Trump won. Trump won, hands down."
Exactly.
But now I think people like. It's funny because a lot of people are also that are like Trumpers are starting to turn on Trump a little. Like you hear it more, and especially with JD Vance.
Yeah.
They don't like JD Vance.
Yeah.
So
you know why he was picked? Because he's Don Jr.'s buddy.
So
when he was going back and forth in the final few people that he was considering, Don Jr.'s like, get JD. So,
which I don't understand because he was one of the harshest critics of Trump. He said that Trump was an idiot and a bumbling.
Yeah. One thing I'll say about that is like his, he obviously people have confronted him a lot about that, and I don't mind his answer. He's like, people can change. Like I thought that, and then he became president, and then I thought he did a great job. It's probably all bullshit.
It's bullshit.
But I would say like I'm okay with people changing their minds. Like I think that's okay to do. So I'm not gonna like fault him on that. I do enjoy all the shit he's getting about his comments about like families and
being gay.
You don't have children. You're basically
being gay.
What did he say?
And being gay.
Tell me about that. I haven't heard that.
Oh, in his autobiography, he said, I thought I was gay, but then I prayed on it and I'm not gay anymore.
Oh, really?
And he's Hindu and like he's just all over the place. It's just so stupid. Like
his wife is
something.
Indian?
She's something.
Did
you say he is Hindu? He's not a Christian?
Or he was Hindu for a while, and then now he's Christian. But people say he doesn't practice. He's just all over the place. But I will say one thing I wanted to say is like there are reports coming out now.
His wife is Indian American. I didn't know. I knew her name was something Indian sounding. It's Usha. So I don't. Is he?
I would imagine he's Christian. I would imagine he is. Maybe. Well, it's just the reference of his wife. Maybe she's Hindu.
No. He did some Hindu stuff, and he was part of some Hindu group, and
maybe
he's all over the place. I bet he's a lot more Christian now after he got picked. All of a sudden, he got a lot more Christian.
Converted to Catholicism in 2019.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Catholicism.
Speaking of religion, though, I just want to add to your comment about angels coming down and just like tapping the bullet just a little bit so it doesn't hit his head. Yeah, so it kills someone else. I like the straight face with which these people say things like that. It makes me sick, actually.
Sick.
The only explanation for that kind of talk that I find acceptable is when someone says, if you were that person and you were that close to death, you may feel personally as though it was a miracle. Like your experience may be that it was a miracle because you suddenly see how close, like it was a matter of, centimeters between you being alive and dead. And you may feel that there was like the hand of God touched you. You may have some kind of inner revelation or experience just with just noting how close you were to death.
Yeah, but he didn't say any of that.
Well, he like kind of alluded to maybe he had, but it's kind of bullshit. I'm sure he had some. I don't know how you could not have some sort of existential reflection if you were shot in the ear and someone was trying to kill you. You probably think about it. I don't know how much he continues to think. It didn't change ultimately how he's acting or how he's talking about his opposition.
Yeah, which is a shame because he had
an opportunity.
He did have an opportunity. It was a huge opportunity. For one, I think you're right, David, that it would have had Biden not stepped down, it would have solidified his win.
Yeah.
For one, but he did have an opportunity to change his tone and change course a little bit and really bring in the other side, that people that were maybe on the fence. Like he really could have done that.
I think he could have.
If he had this kind of moment, it was like his opportunity to change and not seem phony.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I feel like he could have been the best president ever if he would have handled COVID differently initially. Like he could have. I don't know. I feel like. I mean, not that he could have been the best president ever. I think he had an opportunity to shift a little bit and win over a lot of people. And this is a chance he didn't do it twice.
The COVID thing just showed how he just doesn't give a shit. Like he's just a spoiled kid who made a ton of money as president, and we still don't do anything about that. And he got away with it, and he got away with insurrection. He got away with, like all of his things.
So you think it was a conspiracy? You think it was all fake? The assassination attempt?
It just didn't look like no part of it looked real. For one thing, one shot went off.
No.
For another thing, what?
It was more than that.
Yeah, it was a few shots.
Oh, there was? And they got that close and they could hit him in the head? Come on.
A couple people got shot, not critically, but were in rough shape, and then someone died. So there were, I don't know how many bullets there were, but it was
I think there were 2 seriously injured and 1 dead.
I don't know how many bullets outside of
Yeah,
that,
I don't know how many bullets.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, no part of that. It just doesn't. And it was too opportune and stuff. And I don't know. It's just so dumb. My apologies to everyone if it
8
wasn't.
shots in under 6 seconds.
Wait, what?
8 shots in under 6 seconds.
That's a lot of shots.
It is a lot.
Wow, that guy's not a very good shot.
Yeah.
I mean, not to be a dick, but like.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. He was. I forget how far they said it was. Maybe 100 yards, 150 yards. But it's not that. It's not that far.
No, I mean, not that far.
Rifle. Being a marksman, shooting a gun, a rifle, like it's not super easy, but I'm sure the kid had practice.
150 meters, 160 yards.
Yeah.
60 yards.
Plus, he was.
Anyway,
the stress of it, and
yeah.
I don't know.
I probably shouldn't comment because
his head. So
he
probably had a pretty good shot, and then he turned
this
head.
way. Oh man! So what?
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't comment, but it just, I don't know. It just looked the whole part of it just looked like optics to me. It just looked like it's too opportune. That's all I'm saying. If it is real, I apologize to everybody, but
yeah, I definitely think it was real. I think it really happened. I think it was a big failure in the. I think they're still learning about why, aside from the Secret Service director stepping down, it seems like there's really bad communication between the local police and the local SWAT team, and there's still, I think, a lot to be discovered about why that happened or why that kid was even given the opportunity to crawl up this building. But I definitely think it was real.
It's pretty impressive.
He's such a lucky son of a bitch.
He's really so lucky.
And then I would say, like, speaking of lucky, Kamala Harris, she's just been kind of sitting in the shadows and waiting for this moment that finally came.
That she's been endorsed.
That she stepped down or stepped away, or like, I'm sure, like, on her mind it was like, will he pass away and then I'm going to take over? Like, she's been, because I don't think she would have gotten elected on her own. Like, obviously she ran for president and didn't get very far, but
she didn't get far at all. I don't think she got a delegate or something. She got 0 delegates when she ran for. Originally.
Wait, she ran for president by herself?
Yeah, in 2020, she was one of the candidates, and she was. I think
she
was the worst performing.
I don't know about that. She was harsh on Biden for sure.
She was
worst performing. She got the least amount of support of all the candidates.
I'm just glad. I mean, whatever. Like,
it got to a certain point where enough people did speak out. I know you were like shitting on Democrats for not speaking up, and they did, which is eventually why he stepped down. And I knew a few days before he stepped down, I told Nathan, I was like, he's going to step down because he's not a bad person. And you can disagree with me on that, but I don't think Joe Biden is a bad person.
He's done horrible things. Horrible things. But
I don't think he's a bad person. And I think what he did was selfless in a lot of ways, where he actually heard what people were saying and said, okay.
Yeah. Like, he's more selfless than Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Trump would never do
that. That bitch.
Yeah, she really ruined a lot of stuff.
I didn't realize how hard they campaigned her to step down, and she still won it. I didn't know that. I thought they asked her to stay.
Lunch with her, like, come over and let's have a conversation.
Fucking bitch.
It's hard to tell someone, like, you could die at any moment.
But it's still old people. Old people, you need to get out of the way. You need to stop.
Well, I mean, there's a strategy that needs to be played. It's politics. Yeah. There's terms, like there are rules to the game, and you need to strategize how you're going to win.
Yeah.
And she just thought she'd live forever or live as long as she needs to until Hillary got into office, and that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I just want to note, like we've alluded to this, is just moving on from an assassination attempt on the president. It's crazy that that's just kind of old news now. That's how crazy this year has been. It's like old news.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if it was a more likable person, it would be. But like so many people were like, like, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't around anyone that was shocked or cared. Like you guys might have been, but in my world, nobody.
Yeah.
I think it was a shocking moment. I think most of the country probably felt that way. I don't think anybody, some of my far left friends will, were like, good, it, could have been MAGA free had it happened. Like I'm definitely not there. Like I actually was. I don't want anybody to die.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Now, like, would the country be better if he wasn't around? Like, yeah, I think so. But like,
it'd be good if he just went and played golf and retired.
Dude.
Play golf.
The one thing
I was trying to get reelected. I'm just like, why do you want to spend your remaining years in this position?
Dude.
It's so stressful.
I heard one analysis of this that I think is probably pretty accurate. Is that he saw it as if he won his second term, it would be as though he were being chosen. Like, this is the time where I'm being chosen. Like they put me in to beat Trump the first time, but now they want me back. So this is my genuine win.
And he said he wouldn't. He said I'm in it for one and then I'm out. He said that.
But there's also a thing about presidents being whether they're one term or two terms. Like there's a big judgment about presidents for that. So I think he's thinking about his legacy. He probably just also it probably is pretty great to be president. Like the amount of people waiting on you, and you feel you're the most important person in the world. You know everything. You're told everything.
I just want to smack him. Just want to smack him still.
I don't know. I think that he did the right thing, and I think his legacy his legacy will be positive.
Oh no. You're not talking to young people. I'm talking to the young people. He's already Genocide Joe. He's Genocide Joe. In your generation, maybe, but when your generation dies out, it's gonna be like, oh God, that guy. Like, no. He's not doing. Nope.
It's a small percentage of the country that's out there like protesting for Palestine. They're
not protesting for Palestine. God, you sound like a Republican. They're not protesting for Palestine. They're protesting for peace and against genocide. That's what they're protesting.
Some of them are.
Some of them are. But nobody with half a brain is pro Hamas or pro Israel.
Without a brain.
Wait, what?
There's a lot of people protesting that also just don't know what they're protesting for.
Oh no, 100%. Well, no, what I was saying is there's no one with half a brain who's protesting, who's pro Hamas or pro Israel. Nobody.
Oh, there's so many.
Pro government of Israel. Pro government of Israel. That's what I meant. Nobody with half a brain is pro. Netanyahu, when you know what you're talking about and when you've researched what he is, he's the most corrupt person that you can even think of.
I think we should move on from this because I don't think that we're going to get anywhere with that.
Well, I think you guys are actually.
I would just say that like I brought that up because I don't think that Genocide Joe, like that's not going to be what Joe Biden.
That's not going to be his legacy
at all.
100%.
That's not going to be his legacy. His legacy is going to be something else, and it's not going to be he's Genocide Joe. It's not going to be the byline.
No, I agree.
Yeah. It's going to be other stuff.
Now, Biden had waged this war on Palestine himself. I get that there's like other like back ways that he's complicit in certain ways to things that are happening.
Back ways? We funded it 100%. We, the three of us here, funded it, and he made sure it was funded. I think you're right that we should probably move on, but I think the use of the term genocide is incorrect for one. So we can start with that. Wait, can you just explain why you think it's not a genocide?
Because a genocide is when you explicitly are trying to eliminate all the people.
Netanyahu said the way we're going to have peace is to get rid of all the people.
Hamas.
Hamas, and what is he doing? He's killing innocent people. He's like, oh,
That's war.
Hamas
David,
is
that's
using.
war.
That's war! He destroyed a school and a hospital, and he said, well, we thought there were Hamas there. There was no Hamas there.
No,
That's
Hamas has been using civilians as human targets intentionally to get people killed.
Yes.
That's
so you think that's okay to be like, you know what? Well, they're using him, so
No,
just
but
destroy
it's
the hospital.
It's urban warfare.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
I don't like it. I
so-
don't want anyone to get killed.
Are you guys? No. You guys need to be more serious. For one thing, do you know that Netanyahu funded Hamas? Netanyahu picked Hamas out of all the Palestinian groups, funded it, put it where it was, and then gave them weapons. And then when they attacked, said, "Oh, look, they're attacking us. We need money to attack them back." Do you guys not know that?
Sounds like an oversimplification of the politics. So you know that Hamas has spent the last 15 years building 200 miles worth of tunnels underneath their city instead of investing in their people, right?
Hamas is horrible. I just said, if you have half a brain, you're not pro Hamas, and
Right.
you're not pro the government of
Right.
Israel. If you have half a brain in your head, you know that these are both terrorist organizations.
Right.
This is the
Well-
wait. If you guys wait, let me just say one thing. The people of Palestine, the children, the women, the people of Palestine deserve peace just as much as the children and the people
Absolutely.
of Israel do.
Absolutely.
I'm snapping to that.
And Hamas and the government of Israel are both counter that. That's all. And if you guys research as much as I have, you would see that that is 100% true, and it always has
I
been.
think
Does Hamas use Palestinian people as human shields?
100%!
Okay.
100%. But so does the government of Israel. The government of Israel has done fucked up shit. Fucked up shit. The government of Israel has made, if you go back, every agreement they have made since 1948, they have violated. And then when the Palestinians retaliate, they go, look, they're attacking us. Give us money. And we've done it every time. That is the truth.
So what would end
of
this
the area.
war? What would end this war right now?
If we fucking said no more, you're not getting any more American money. But you know why we won't do that? Do you know why Joe Biden wouldn't do that?
That wouldn't end the bombs being thrown into Israel or the bombs being
It
thrown.
would if
And
one.
it's very clear that this war is going to continue with or without our support.
Yeah, it's going to continue. If we cut
Dude.
it all off, it would still continue.
No. There's a bunch of people in Israel that are like, Netanyahu, we want you out of office. If he didn't have American support, they would probably move to oust him from office.
Well,
He'd probably be out of office
that's a
within.
reckoning that's going to come once this war is probably over, because there was a lot of. I mean, there was
The
a
war's
lot
never going to be over. That war's never going to be over.
Well,
Never.
now. What would end
What
it?
would end the war is if the hostages were given back.
And Hamas surrendered.
Those
Yeah.
are the things that Netanyahu
Yeah.
is saying would completely end.
So if they gave the hostages back and they surrendered and they were treated the way they've always been treated, do you think that's going to end anything? The Palestinian people are also fighting for their lives, and they have been since before 1948. Since Israel has just been fucking destroying their country.
Well,
First of all,
you know that the Palestinian people grew in population from then until now, right? The
100%.
population
They're
has
fucking like rabbits.
It's not a
Stupid.
like they went from like 200,000 to over 2 million.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
They
how is
are.
that a genocide? If Israel wanted to actually kill all of the Palestinian people, they could. So I watched this podcast with a guy who's like the most knowledgeable person about urban warfare. And the thing that so urban warfare is the kind of war that no one wants to fight. You don't want to go into a city and try and fight people, because it's just, there's a lot of casualties. It's just nearly impossible. And it's a trend over time. This trend is going to increase because people will see how you can just embed and kind of hide. And Hamas has spent the last 16, 20 years building all these tunnels, specifically putting them underneath these places that we care about. And they're not just using people as human shields. They're using people as, like, they believe that sacrificing their people is good for the cause. Like they want their people to be sacrificed. They're then they're martyrs for the cause. And the thing about warfare, these confrontations, is the longer they drag out, the more casualties there are, the worse it looks for the winner. So Israel looks worse and worse the longer this goes on, because
It's just hard. I will never go to Israel. Never.
Yeah. So
never.
This specialist, he teaches at West Point. He's studied like every urban warfare that there's ever been any information about over time, right? Like boots on the ground, going to places in the last 20 years, just like educating himself and like learning as much as he can. And the facts of the matter are, according to him, that it's insane how many lives have been saved by the tactics that the Israeli forces have used. Like they've held their attacks to such high standards, and the propaganda pushes the other direction. So the propaganda is saying that they're causing a genocide, but the reality, when you look at that, the truth of the matter is they're having fewer civilian casualties than anyone could ever imagine. So that's the last thing I'm going to say about it. No one wants babies to be killed. No one wants the Palestinian people to be killed, but it's a little more complicated than.
Wait a minute, that's not true. We don't want them to be killed. Netanyahu does, and he has said as much. We will never see peace until the Palestinians are gone. He said those words.
Well, I mean, that's as long as those two civilizations exist, there is not going to be peace. He's not
100%. 100%. But do you know that the Palestinians were where Israel is, and they were just scraped right out of there? And they were and Aaron, you even said that you saw the Palestinian land and you're like, oh shit, it's very different than Israel.
It is.
And they're treated like garbage, and they will always fight back. We would fight back. If we were in Palestinian, we would fight back too. And there's a good chance we would be part of a group like Hamas, because we'd be like, fuck, we're sick of being treated like this.
You're absolutely, you could be right in the sense that people think they would never be the Nazi guard, that they would be the person who resisted, but a lot of people would end up being the Nazi guard, in
100%.
So
because when you're at the top, it's bullshit, but when you're at the bottom, you think you're fighting for something. You don't know, and you just see your country keep getting attacked. And you listen to your grandparents, you're like, I used to live in Israel. I can't go to Israel anymore. And guess what? If I try to go to Israel, I'm strip searched and I'm questioned. And that's where I grew up. I grew up there. But they're just scraped right out. It's bullshit. The entire area is bullshit.
What do you guys think of Kamala Harris?
Well, one thing I'll say for her is she is for a ceasefire, and she doesn't want to blindly support Israel like Joe did, which I'm 100% for.
Oh,
oh no,
that's the reality we live in right now.
She's sick of Israel. Hey, why didn't Joe DiNotro weigh in on Israel?
I don't know if he has an opinion.
Oh, he has an opinion.
So this is the reality of two young children trying to get them to sleep, is that several times a night they wake up. I've pretty much spent the last, I don't know how many months, sleeping on a bed on the floor with our daughter. So
really, what do you know why?
Yeah, because if I don't, she'll wake up over and over again throughout the rest of the night.
Aww.
Why does she wake up? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just a thing.
She's had it with Israel too. I talked to her. She's had it with Israel. She can't sleep through the night thinking about fucking Israel.
There are phases. So Aaron's probably going to be a few minutes.
All right, let me ask you this then. So are you a registered Democrat?
I am, yes.
Do you identify as a Democrat? Do you feel like a Democrat?
I would say I feel I'm not a fan of labels in general, but I feel more like a Democrat than a Republican most of the time, for sure. I think I find, yeah, I mean, it's funny because I was going to say I probably am more center than I realized I was, but I'll have views that are pretty far left, and I'll have some, middle of the road Democratic views. And then I'll have some there's some conservative or Republican viewpoints that I would agree with as well. It just depends on the topic, I guess, at hand and what the issue is. So, but in general, I feel like I'm going to be voting Democrat since we have this two-party system, I'm most likely going to be voting Democrat, and I would like to be able to help select the primaries. So that's why I'm registered Democrat.
Have you ever researched the other parties and what they stand for and what they're about?
You mean outside of Democratic and Republican?
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit. What was it? Green? What was it? What was the Green Party? Was that a party for a while?
There's a Green Party. Yeah, that's Jill Stein, Green Party.
Yeah, I remember. What was Ross Perot?
He was an independent.
Okay.
Or libertarian. Wait, maybe he was a libertarian.
Yeah, so I know a little bit about libertarian viewpoints. I mean, I guess I probably haven't spent as much time as maybe they deserve, but I mean, it's like I said, it's a two-party system, so you end up, these are the two you have to deal with.
But that's my problem is people just automatically default to that, and we don't have to do that. The biggest problem, we have to break the cycle of the two-party system, or it's just simply going to be this merry-go-round that will never stop.
So would the way to do that be changing the legislation so that we have more parties?
I don't know if it's legislation. No, what I think the biggest thing that
setup, right? Like, isn't
the biggest? Yeah. No. The biggest thing that would change it is there's so many people in the last. I can't remember the last time there was. Obama was the last time I remember people were excited about him as a candidate, but not so much what he stood for, but just because he was the first black president. But on both sides, nobody is all that excited about the Republican nominee or the Democratic nominee. Most people aren't. And if they would just explore a third party, we would get a third party in there. If all the people who didn't want to vote for the Harris or Trump voted for a third party, that third party would win. But nobody. Yeah. This is the problem, though. Is nobody researches it. Nobody has any clue what they stand for. But the harder problem is they have never had the opportunity to show us what they're about. So we can't look at their experience and say, "Oh, I like this person." You just have to go on what they say. And as we know, politicians, what they say, it doesn't matter what they say. It does not matter what they say when they're running at all. But we have to break the cycle. We have to take a chance on other parties. There needs to be a viable third and fourth party for things to actually change in this country.
Yeah, I think the fear is what happened with Ross Perot is that so many people voted for Ross Perot that it tilted. It just changed the margin so much between the two that then we ended up with Bush, right? No, Ross Perot was Republican and then left to be. Wasn't he? He ran against Bush and what's his name? The Democrat.
Yeah.
Clinton's vice president. I can't think of his name.
God, yeah, I can see his face. He did Inconvenient Truth.
Right.
I remember his being Republican. Wait. Ross Perot is an American politician and philanthropist. He was the founder and chief of Was Ross Perot Republican, Democrat? Ross Perot. God, it's not telling me.
Because he energized a lot of people. I feel like he ran on his own money.
Well, the problem with Ross Perot is he was in it and he was gaining momentum, and people knew him as the third. Like he he was as famous as the other two.
Yeah.
Then he dropped out, and for like
Did he
2
drop out?
weeks, he dropped out for like 2 weeks, and then he came back and was in it,
Huh.
and everybody was like, "Nope." Like if he didn't drop out, I think he would have come in second at least, and that would have sent a huge message to everyone that wow, there's a viable third party now. But he dropped out, and that's when it just everything came to a screeching halt. People were like, well, we don't want to get behind someone who dropped out. Why did he drop out? Why is he back now? But he still garnered a lot. Like he won some districts in the country, and everyone knew who he was,
Right.
which is huge. And
Al
he was
Gore. Al Gore. He ran against Al Gore.
Yeah, Al Gore. I think he would have beaten Al Gore. Al Gore was never going to win. People just were not excited about him. Even Democrats didn't like him.
I was pretty young at the time, and I do remember the sense of like it felt like, even to me at that time, it felt like he was next in line as opposed to who people were excited about. Because I feel like Clinton was certainly controversial and the right hated him, but I feel like he motivated people to, like, he excited people, he got people out to vote. He, had 2 terms, and I feel like he was charismatic and just had a presence about him that Al Gore didn't have. So when Al Gore was like, oh, it's just, okay, now it's just, that's the other thing, is when the vice president runs, it just feels like more of that same thing almost, even though they could have way different policy views or obviously different styles. And often you hear that presidents and vice presidents are like this because they, they're hitting, bumping heads together because of, the rivalries that exist even in those relationships. But I don't know what, I think you're right. I mean, I'm ashamed to say I don't know enough about foreign politics. In the UK, you have to have, there's different parties, or I don't even know what they call them. And then you have to like build a coalition or something, right? Where if you get the most votes, and then it's a matter of like building up from other parties to support you. But you have the lead.
It's confusing.
I don't know what the best, I don't have enough knowledge to say what would be the best. Whether we need a third or a different system entirely, I don't know.
Well, I think Al Gore is a great he's a great example for us because he had zero personality. And that's why, like, he could have been great. I don't even know, but nobody listened to him because he had zero personality. And it doesn't matter. I mean, Trump is a great example too. It's like he has the worst personality ever, but he has a strong personality, so people get behind him, which doesn't make a great leader, which makes a horrible leader.
But Trump, I think he was able to put his finger on the pulse of the people who felt disenfranchised in a way 100%. That no one on the right had. I mean, he's remade the Republican Party image, he really has. But
that's what's so shitty about our politics, is that nobody cares what you say. It's just that you say these shitty things. Like, it's personality. That's it. Period. That's all.
People agree with him though. Like, if people actually agree with some of the things he says. I mean,
totally.
When Trump came on the scene, I remember thinking, he's finally saying out loud the things that I knew, the Republicans that I knew believed and said, but the Republican Party wouldn't say that out loud, on TV or at conventions. They just knew that their supporters were that way, right? But they wouldn't say it. It was like the quiet things you don't say out loud. And Trump just came out and started saying them out loud. And by that point, the right, or Republicans, conservatives, have felt so disenfranchised that they were like, yep, we're leaning full into this now. The other thing that's interesting about the parties, though, is they shift over time. It was the Democrats who were most of the slave states, like things people forget that, Abe Lincoln was a Republican. He was the one who pushed to end that, right? To end slavery.
No, he used it as a way. He was against. If you read what he wrote, he was against liberating the slaves, and he said, if I could do it any other way, I would not. We are obviously superior to the slave. He was against it.
I don't
He
know.
would have read what he wrote, and he would have let it lay there. But the abolitionists took up what he did. Like what he did didn't free the slaves. Like they had to then take it and do all the shit you got to do, and they did it. This is what's going to change our country, and this is what should happen. We need to get away from politicians. Politicians are just liars. Even the good ones they have to lie to get into office. They have to say things. They have to massage what they say, and they have to PR you.
She's back, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, here I'm gonna start over so she's back, so we can fight it out. Nathan asked, "What's going to change?" We have to change the two-party system. Two-party system doesn't work. It's just a merry-go-round that just keeps going back and forth. As long as I've been alive, and as long as you'll be alive, if it's two-party system, it's just going to swing back and forth.
I agree.
One of the things we have to do is we have to get away from politicians, because politicians just are about public relations. They're not about management or actually doing anything correct.
What's the other option?
What we have to do, but this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to get away from politicians. What we have to do is if you hold an office, and I don't know the hierarchy, anywhere from a mayor of a city all the way up to the president and including all of Congress and all the Senate, you have to take a 4-year course where you learn management, you learn science, you learn fucking economy, you learn things. You have to be educated, and you have to pass the courses. So we don't have. We would never have a Trump. We would never have a Marjorie Taylor Greene. We would never.
So you basically you're cutting out a certain amount of people just because they wouldn't take the courses.
Because they don't have the brain. I think if you had Trump sit down and do it, or Marjorie Taylor Greene, they wouldn't get through it because they would be learning things, and they have to learn foreign policy. There's certain subjects they have to learn, and you have to have the intelligence to get through it and to be able to implement it. Like it has to be tested. So can they know these facts, and they implement it? Can they manage something? Can they implement economics? And then we have a government of people who actually fucking know shit. That would be such a revolution that would change. We'd get away from politicians, and the American people have to be educated too, or the people of the world, because you can't just fucking listen to someone. It does not matter what a politician says when they're running, because 90% of it, Trump didn't do anything he said he would do, but do they care? Do his supporters care? No, they don't give a shit.
He built the wall.
It just goes to show it's not about that.
Yeah, it's just
character.
They want to get behind someone's personality, and personality does nothing once they're in office. It's like we were talking about Al Gore. Al Gore never would have won because he had zero personality. He could have been great. I don't know. And Trump will always win because he has a shitty personality, and people fucking love that because they want that he massages the shitty part of their ego.
That's the one thing I'm worried about with Kamala. I was telling Nathan the other day that, and I'm sure you've talked about her already, so I don't need to go back.
We actually haven't, but go ahead.
Okay, well, it just doesn't seem like there's much personality there. She almost feels like that she just will be whatever you want her to be. But I do want to approach her with an open mind. I want to give her that because I do think she's smart. She has been elected to very important positions before, so she's obviously pretty smart and knows how to win people over. So I'm giving her the chance to win me over.
I think that's a great idea. I also would have to, one of the commentary comments that I heard about what could undo her momentum is if she has a few months. Is it 2 months, 3 months? How long is it?
November? I don't know.
Not very far.
August, September, October, November, 4 months.
Okay, so she has 4 months and
3 months because
she's going to be grilled in a lot of things. So she really has to make sure she has her ducks in a row with what she's saying. And if she's floating around, that's and answering kind of in the moment to appease different people. Like she has to know what she's doing and say it and like stick to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she is gonna see.
Because I would say before. Sorry, my cat's scratching the carpet. Before all this, I would have said that I didn't want Kamala and I didn't think she could win. But I'm seeing it differently now. Partially because she kind of stayed in the shadows and you didn't really hear much about her during the last 4 years. So for whatever reason that was, maybe it was on purpose, maybe it was because of how the administration treated her, or like, I don't know, but for some reason she didn't seem to do a lot in the last 4 years. But let's see what she can do now.
Can I just tell you one thing that the Democrats fail at so hard, and for some reason they cling to it. They're so insane. And we've seen Trump has made it work. Trump just gets up there and says any fucking thing, any insane thing he wants to, and his supporters fucking love the shit out of it. And he energizes even more people. But I only saw part of the debate where Joe Biden looked like a freak. It's because they sit there and the Democrats coach their fucking people. Now say this, and you don't want to say this because it'll offend. Teach Kamala Harris everything she needs to know. Don't coach her on what to say. Let her go out and say it and say her opinion and say it forcibly, and she will do so much better than if you coach her to be like, well, I don't, we want to be middle of the road. No, don't be fucking middle of the road. Say it. Say it and have your convictions. Because when I've seen her speak, it seems like, I don't know, she could be a really good actress, but it seems like she has compassion. It seems like she does care about the American people. I don't fully know what she thinks or cares about, but she has shot down certain things. Shoot them down. If you think that way, shoot that down and say it. Say what you mean, and don't fucking stop coaching the Democratic fucking nominees. They look like fucking idiots. Go.
The prosecutor, she might. That's how she was trained to approach things. So you might see that in her. I'm really curious to see how she debates Trump.
Do it.
Coming up in September, I think.
If she can do that, if she can have her professionalism and be forceful with it, I think that would be amazing. It would look so good.
David.
Yeah, what?
Are you registered as a Democrat or a Republican?
Remember, I registered as a fucking Democrat so I could get... Who did I want in? I wanted somebody in. I forgot who.
Pete Buttigieg?
It didn't work. I think I registered as a Democrat, yeah. But it doesn't matter. She got the nomination already.
Yeah, did you want Pete Buttigieg in?
All right, here's the thing. Is I said I would never vote Democrat or Republican ever again unless someone was amazing. And I don't know if Kamala Harris is amazing because we don't know. I don't know. Do you guys know what she wants or does? The only thing I do like is she said we have to have ceasefire and I have to talk to Netanyahu. And I do. And I think she can. I don't know, though. When people get up to that point, all of a sudden they change. So I think someone goes in and anyways.
You also wonder what they learned behind the scenes that we're just not.
That's what I'm saying. Someone comes in and tells them, da, 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 and they go, oops, okay. But I am tempted. If Pete Buttigieg is her VP, I'm tempted to vote for them. Because I found out some bad things about him too, though. But go ahead, what?
I don't think he's
he's not on the
short list.
She has a short
list. Yeah, that's not him.
Wait, I thought he was definitely on the short list.
He's not at the very least. I know if he's on a short list, I know he's not polling as one of the favorites right now.
But she's going to pick someone lame because the Democrats always pick someone lame. They always pick someone lame. Go ahead.
Well, I think the theory is she's going to pick someone in a swing state to try and win a state.
Does that work? Does that ever work?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, he is on. Yeah, you're right.
Is he on the short
Mark
list?
Kelly is the guy that I think I like. He's the astronaut from Arizona. He seems like
really?
a smart person.
And Arizona is a red state, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The governor of PA, which would be smart for her too. Andy Beshear, Gretchen Whitmer. I don't think two women on a ticket is going to be smart for her, even though she might be good. Roy Cooper, JB Pritzker. And we can't have a JD and a JB.
We could have a BJ. Here's the thing, though. You know what's bizarre is Pete Buttigieg is kind of like some Republicans are talking about how much they like Pete Buttigieg. They like the way he talks. They like his military, which is bizarre. He
Yeah.
is smart, but I found out he is politicianally corporate. Like, they're all full of shit. That's the thing, is that's what's so sad, is they all do shit. They're all owned by somebody.
No,
And-
the money.
And I don't know that I can vote for that anymore. I don't know when could come. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you guys something, and you better listen to me, because you guys are your kids are going to fucking own your ass. If you guys keep voting loyally Democrat just because you're afraid of the Republicans, when your kids get to be your age, they're going to talk about you the way you talk about your parents who vote Republican. They're going to be like, oh my God, my parents would not get away from the fucking Democrat. They wouldn't get off the merry-go-round. They're going to have some new word for you guys and talk about how, like, oh God, we're so binary. They're so binary.
Well, not perfect, but we're voting on the right side of history, and that'll be the same 100 years from now if we look back.
But the thing is like they have it so rigged where it's like, oh my God, this is the most. But both sides make so much money because they're like, oh my God, this is the most dangerous election ever. This is the most dangerous election. This is the most dangerous election ever. Like, it's gonna be like that if you keep doing that. It's just gonna keep going back and forth. You're gonna have a new Trump every 4 years. He's not gonna be Trump.
Well,
he's
then
gonna
I'm
be
always
somebody
going
else.
to vote the other way. Like, if there's a new Trump, I'm always going to vote for the other person.
But guess what? It's gonna swing the other way, and you're gonna lose.
Then
It's
I
gonna
won't
swing
vote.
the other
Like,
way.
if there's reincarnations of Trump in different parties, I will vote for the opposite one. Because no matter
in
what,
Republican and Democrat, it's gonna be the same.
Oh, like a Trump on both sides? I don't think that's possible.
No. What I'm saying is, it's always going to be like, you're always going to be like, oh my God, we got to vote down the Republicans.
Yeah, of course they're going to
It's
always
gonna be
make it.
terrible.
Yeah, that's politics. I mean, that's just the way it is. Fine.
I want off of that merry-go-round. You guys might like that merry-go-round. I want off.
I don't think anybody wants to be on that merry-go-round. I think that I feel strongly.
Well, it's like I told Nathan, if all the people who are undecided voted for a third or fourth candidate, that third or fourth candidate would win big too. Because did you know that in Alabama, Trump only got 33% of the registered Republicans? That's all that voted for him. So
Nikki Haley got a ton of votes. She took a lot of votes away from Trump. There's a lot of people out there that would not have voted for him.
No, I'm talking about the election against Biden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, most people don't vote. Most people don't vote.
Yeah, and because they say undecided, or they say I don't care. But if those undecided people would vote for a third party, that third party would win.
But would win big around one person.
The third party also needs to have a really good candidate, and I haven't.
100%, I agree with you. But nobody will research that. Well, this is what we talked about with Nathan. Nobody I know will research a third or fourth party because they're like, it's a waste of time. I'm not going to do it. So like, we don't know what they're saying, but also they're never given a chance, so we don't know their experience. We don't know their track record.
You're also trying to you're trying to unify, say, a third or more of the country around one candidate. What are their views? Are they further the left than the Democrats? Are they further right than the Republicans?
Well, it's like this. It's like fucking Bernie Sanders should have split off. He probably would have been a viable third party. He might have even won. He might have been,
actually.
If he was green or something else. And fucking
like, I'm a Democrat.
Although I want to say with Bernie though, I'm sorry, I see him now and he is like 500 times more vibrant and smart and with it than Biden is. And they were like pretty much called out at the same time for being old, too old to do what they were going to do. And like, you look at Biden.
It's a shame.
Biden's a mess.
Bernie still is vibrant and young, youthful as
ever.
Well,
being president ages you tremendously. Like, that's the comment they always say. You go in for 4 years and like you look different.
Oh, he's done shit.
Like Trump. But I feel like it affected Biden's brain. Just like the stress.
I'm telling you, when you're president, he's done shit we'll never know about. Every president does shit that they make them can't sleep at night. Like, he's done shit, and he's had to do shit, and they've all had to do shit. Like, and you see it on their faces. And I wish I wish one of them to fuck out and come come the fuck out and say it. Have the guts to fucking say it.
Hold on. You say that as though they have a good choice and a bad choice. Sometimes they have two bad choices.
Oh no.
They have to
There's another choice. You can have balls. It's because they have families. There needs to be someone in their family like me who says, guess what? This is what happened, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Most of the country won't believe it, but if a president would just fucking tell the truth, I'd be dead within 24 hours, but still, like, it would be good for the world. What?
But I don't know if you've heard this.
What?
JD Vance has blown the lid off of this, but like the fact that you don't have a family means that you're pretty much useless.
Yeah, you can't. You don't get a full vote, and you need to pay more taxes. So
sorry,
dude. That that is going to bite them in the ass. Well, actually, nothing bites them on the ass on that side. Actually,
he does get a lot of heat for it. We'll see.
I'm looking at our list to see if there's anything that's like so desperate to talk about.
I think
David, so Florida bans fake grown meat. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you were very pro.
I am pro. I didn't know this, but a lot of the meat companies are in the development process. I thought that they were pushing back on it. They're pissed off at him. A lot of the meat companies want to do this. They're trying to switch over to this.
It'll probably save them a lot of money.
100%. So it'll get knocked down, and Florida. Nothing ever stands in Florida. It's just so stupid. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he's just so dumb.
Did you tell David while I was gone about voting for Dean Phillips?
Oh no! Yeah, we actually.
Dean Phillips.
Is that what his name is?
Yeah.
So we didn't vote for Biden in the primary.
Oh, who did you vote for?
Dean Phillips.
Who's Dean Phillips?
Exactly.
Nathan doesn't even know.
See, you should have told me. I would have voted for Dean Phillips.
Dean Phillips.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have voted for Dean Phillips. Get some traction going.
We saw him on Real Time with Bill Maher. And
is he cool?
He's a smart young guy. He was just like, I mean, he seemed
all right.
He seemed nice. I don't know.
This was our we don't think Biden's fit to be president.
Yeah, that was our protest vote.
Oh, so you guys thought that too?
Yeah.
Thank God. I would have had to yell at you guys.
Very few people were happy that we were having a Biden-Trump rematch. I think most people wanted fresh blood on both sides. On both sides. I think the whole system was ready to move on.
But I will say that I would not have done a protest vote in the actual election. Like I would have voted for Biden because the alternative is so egregious.
I'm sorry. I never could vote for Biden. Never.
You're gonna vote.
I would never vote for Trump. I would never vote for Trump, but I could never vote for Biden either.
Kamala. Let's do it.
Well, I'm in California, so it does not matter. I could vote for fairies. It wouldn't matter.
Write yourself in because with your little speech, David, you won me over.
Oh wow!
Thank you. Well, wait, Aaron, you weren't around for. Wait, were you around for the? Were you around for the?
Okay. Well, Nathan's gonna go. I think it's gonna be the end of the podcast, so maybe Nathan says goodbye.
Hey, goodbye, everyone.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Nathan. Bye.
Another wake up. But you and I can wrap it up, David.
Okay, wait, you were around when I said, I can't remember, the 4-year, they have to take a 4-year course. Don't you think anybody who runs for president, especially or those high offices, should know things?
I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm all for it. I have a lot of questions about who would be developing the course and who would be teaching, because that's where
I know that's the problem.
It'd be very difficult to find really unbiased, non-political people. We have to, extract all people take their brains and extract all that stuff.
The smartest thing to do is to put together a team of people who want our country to be a good country. So the best knowledge of economics, the best knowledge of foreign policy, the best knowledge of science, to know these things. But that's the thing is they would still the 2-party system would still argue over every fucking little thing. And it would be, God, that's so sad.
I agree. There shouldn't be 2 parties. There should be more than 2 parties. Rather.
So you don't have to be so radical. Just start researching another person, researching other people, and talk about them. What?
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to every voter in America. In fact, I've been telling voters in California where it doesn't matter who are like, I don't want to vote, and I'm like, please don't vote for Biden. This was before. Don't vote for Biden. Don't vote for Trump. Vote for a third party. Vote for Jill Stein, just so that there's acknowledgement and there's talk.
Was Jill Stein going to be a good president? Like,
No, and there's no way she could win. But at least if a name got out there.
Jill Stein, I don't know a ton about her, but
I don't either. All I know is what she says. She says good things. I research the other candidate. All I know is what they say, but you can't trust that. And we have no track record for them, unfortunately, because they were never given a chance to do anything.
I mean, it's kind of the whole thing about women in Hollywood and like diversity hires, like people are mad about DEI and things like that, but if the people that are being hired now weren't given the opportunity prior, it's like how, it's complicated.
Exactly. But what it will do though is it gets the name out there, it gets the party's name out there, and it gets awareness, and hopefully it'll build. Hopefully there will be, like, people think, oh, there's an alternative, and maybe a really bright politician who doesn't identify as fully Democrat will go to that party. And now we'll see traction. We'll see them starting to form.
Yeah. I feel like at some point that Republicans can easily split into two parties. And
there was another guy who they liked that wasn't Trump, and it should have split off. Like, if they both split off at the same time, that would have been a really good thing.
Yeah, because there's I feel like MAGA will be its own party at a certain point. And I think Nathan, I don't know if he said this in this episode, but he had mentioned to me, which was Carrie, that he thinks that after Trump, if Trump gets his next 4 years, like Don Jr. will just run. And it's just going to be this douchebag dynasty.
I would never vote for him, but I might think about voting for Tiffany.
Oh, God.
So wait, do we know, and can you answer this question, do we know that both of your fathers are voting for Trump?
110%.
Okay, that makes me a little bit better than you guys, because guess what? I got Mary Jerry to a point where she said she hates Trump. She would never vote for Trump ever, ever, never, never, ever again.
What?
Yep. And she said, and not only her, my uncle.
Wait, your mom?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm better than you guys.
That's impressive, David. Your mom actually listens.
And my uncle, too. Well, we didn't have to talk about it, but my uncle's a Marine, and he voted for Trump. And when Trump said the thing about people in the military, and he fired some general, and then he said that they're losers.
Yeah.
My uncle was out. And a whole bunch, he might not win this time because a whole bunch of military people hate him. So, but a whole bunch still support him, but a whole bunch hate him. So I don't know. I think he has a harder, it feels different. Like, he doesn't have the support he had before. It feels like.
I don't know. I think it could go either way. I think the shooting changed things.
I don't think people care as much as they did last time. I just don't think people care anymore.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out in November.
I guess so. You're 100% voting for Kamala, no matter who she picks.
I can't imagine she'd pick anyone where I would not vote in the election, because it's either the Democratic ticket or no one for me.
Would you be excited to have Pete Buttigieg, a homosexual, in the office?
I like him. I think he's really smart.
He's smart. I like the way he speaks. He seems like they both seem like they care about people. They do.
Well, they're both smart.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with the things they're saying, the fact that we have intelligent people that are well-spoken.
Yeah. They might be horrible, and they've both done things that aren't good for the people of the country, but they look like they care. And I know that Donald Trump does not care about you and I at all.
No, he doesn't care about anyone that likes him even. Yeah,
and I know that Hillary Clinton didn't care about you and I. So this is a different thing. I'm just comparing her because I heard I read that Hillary's annoyed that Kamala is getting so much attention.
She endorsed Kamala, though. Her and Bill.
Fucking white woman. What?
Her and Bill endorsed Kamala.
They have to. She couldn't not endorse Kamala. Oh shit! I wanted to talk to Nathan. The fucking Pramila Jayapal. Oh shit buckets. Well, maybe he when he edits this. Okay, I saw a thing. Pramila Jayapal was vilified over the Israel thing when she came out and said what she said. They're fucking starting to come around now. I saw her on, I don't know, some news show. And even the person commentating was saying, like, so, like, we're kind of seeing that a lot of stuff you said was right, and da-da-da-da-da. So, like, and I was like, yes, go. Pramila also, for all of you people out there, Pramila Jayapal, I don't know if she's fucking us in the back end, but she seems like she cares. I've met her in person. She seems like a wonderful, compassionate person. She is a politician, so unfortunately she has to schmooze and PR things. But she's even saying the things that are unpopular that she knows are right. And I think that's a strong and good person. And we need so much more of that. We need so much more of that to fix this country and the world.
Yeah.
And I want to give her kudos.
She's a family member. I have no interest in going into like what I agree with or don't agree with, the things she said. I can say with absolute certainty, though, is that she's an extremely good person that cares deeply about everything. It's the reason why she ran. And I don't feel like that about most politicians. And maybe everyone else's politicians' families say the same thing. But she's compassionate and she's smart and she wants good things, even if you don't agree with those good things are. It doesn't really matter. Like, she is that good person.
But as a woman,
that's what gives me some hope in politics, because I know her, and I know that there's other good people like that. There have to be.
And don't you, and this isn't a joke, this is 100% sincere, don't you as a woman, don't you respect the hell out of her for saying the unpopular thing and sticking to her convictions in the office that she's in the field that she's in?
Sure.
Oh, you don't sound like you do. You don't?
I mean, yeah.
Well, I do, because it's not an easy thing, and so many politicians do, take the easy way out, and she's taken the hard road and gotten a lot of shit for it, but she's going with her beliefs and her convictions, and her message at the heart of the matter, even if you disagree with it, is like, look, people deserve peace and freedom. And how can you argue that?
Yeah. I think that's a great note to end on. People do deserve peace and freedom.
People deserve peace and freedom.
I might have to come and podcast again at some point. But as you can see, we're still not out of the clear.
Tell Nathan that I gave her tons of kudos and shit.
Okay.
All right. So is that it?
That's it. Are there any comments that we did not see?
We have no comments. Nobody cares about us. I think we're just whistling up a rope. Is that what they say?
It's late, and then we also have been absent friends over the last 7 months, so people might have gotten.
We have been absent friends.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll end on this positive note. I will say, even though I might not vote for her, I'm not sure. I will say to Kamala Harris, and that's the correct pronunciation of her name, Kamala. You better work, bitch.